Okay, this tutorial will cover setting up the screen layout in Microsoft Project 2010. So let's get started. You see a lot of stuff on the screen. I just wanted to walk you through some of the main features of changing the screen layout so that you can use it best for your business needs. Fortunately, Microsoft Project has done a really good job of embedding comments into all the buttons. So as you hover your mouse over these different buttons on the different ribbon tabs, take a look at the boxes that pop up. I think this information is pretty good at telling you what each button does. Now, when you're working in a schedule, it's important to me that I see as much scheduled data as I possibly can on the screen at a given time. So I want to maximize the amount of space that I have available on the screen. So this big ribbon is nice when you're looking for tools, but when you're not, when you're in the schedule, you want to minimize this ribbon. At least I do. So I go in, I right click on one of these tabs up here, and it gives me an option to minimize the ribbon. And so what that did is it rolled it out of the way. For when I need it, it pops out, but when I'm not using it, it rolls up. So this is a nice feature, I think. There's also an option when you right click, you can customize the ribbon. If you've got certain tools that you like to use all the time, you can add those into your ribbon. So keep that in mind when you're working in Project, that it's completely customizable, and it has the look and feel of Excel and other Microsoft products. You can see right here a lot of the layout reminds me of Word and Excel. So that, to me, that shortens the learning curve. Okay, so what we have is a Gantt chart that's blank, obviously, and on the left side of the screen you have all these different columns, and these are just placeholders. You can go in and change what's in these columns by double clicking on the heading. There's a drop down list of a host of choices, and if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can type the first couple of letters and it will narrow your search down. So that's helpful. And then you can just go in and hide a column if you don't particularly use that one all the time. You can make it go away, and if you say, oh, I want to add a certain column over here, you can insert a column and say task calendar, for example. That's one choice. And if you get the column layout the way you like it, you can wind up saving this as a template. So I'll show you later how to save it as a template. So that's the left side of the screen. Let's talk a little bit about the Gantt chart on the right. Again, this is totally customizable. You have a vertical line here, which is probably the status date. You can change the color of that. You can also change the time scale. Let's try and change the time scale real quick. I'll double click on this ruler up here, and a time scale dialog box pops up. And for the middle tier, they're talking about this tier at the top. I want to make that years. And then the bottom tier, I want to change that to months. And then for the middle tier, let's see, I want to center the year, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, that changed the Gantt chart. And so let's go into grid lines, because I want to see some horizontal and vertical lines so that my eye can follow from the task descriptions over to the schedule activities on the chart. So I'll put in some Gantt rows, and I'll use a broken line with black, and okay, that put a line. Every activity has a horizontal line. Now I want some vertical lines, so I go into grid lines and choose bottom tier column. Again, I'll choose the broken line, black. Okay. Now it left out the middle tier column, so I've got to go add a line for that as well. So I'll go to the middle tier column, and this one I'll choose a different kind of broken line so that we can differentiate the years from the months. So there we are. We've got our grid lines set up. Let's see, I want to change the color of this status date. Let's see if I can do that. I'll go back to grid lines, and then we're looking at status date, we want that to be blue. Okay, this must not be the status date on the screen. This may be the project start date. Our project finish, let's see, current date, that's what it is. So let's change the current date. For the sake of this exercise, I want to make it blue. Okay, I changed it to blue. So as you can see, the left and right side of the screen are completely customizable, and as you add activities, you can customize what those activities say on the chart. So I put task 1, task 2. Okay, I've entered in a couple of tasks, and I want the descriptions to read next to those activities on the Gantt chart. So what I do is I double click on the screen, and next to the task I want to hit this text tab here, and to the right of it, it currently says list the resource names. I just want to type in name next to that, and when I do that, you see the descriptions pop up next to the schedule activities on the Gantt chart. So now that we've covered that, there's a split screen view that I want you to see that I think you'll find useful. You need to get to it by going to the View tab at the top. The ribbon folds down, and then there is a button called Details. So when you click Details, something leaped out of the bottom of the screen. This is another bit of information that you can use to show resources that are in an activity. You can right click on this bottom screen, and you've got some choices to show different things at the bottom, predecessors and successors, or you can show that's autosave. Okay, you can show cost. So all this stuff is blank right now. We don't have any resources loaded in the schedule, but I just wanted to show you how flexible and how customizable the screen layout is. And once you get the screen layout exactly the way you want it, I'd encourage you to save it as a template. So this concludes our tutorial on setting up screen layouts in Microsoft Project 2010. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.